I think you have to look at the advertising number, right? Obviously, when you have change at the top, you want to see continuity and stability. And the other key focus will be whether or not CBS is able to continue the trend of accelerating sub growth. And look, let's be clear, Joe's been at the company a long time. He's been dealing with investors for a long time. He's been dealing with analysts for a long time. It's not that much of a departure from the status quo, to be honest.
So you don't expect a major change in the format of the call for investors that have gotten used to the way that it's handled. You think the actual structure of the call will be relatively similar to the way that it had been?
Yeah, I don't see any reason for them to change things up. In fact, I don't see any reason for them to change up the operating strategy. I mean, Joe's been involved in all the high-level decisions, and it's been working. If we could just get past all of the headline noise, I think that we could probably have a pretty good fundamental story here.
Dan, can you just bring us up to speed? So since Moonves departed, Joe Iannello, who was his COO, has been acting as the interim CEO. What's been happening behind the scenes? What sort of moves has he been making? And what leads do we have on whether this company is going to get a new CEO?
It's a great question. Obviously, Dick Parsons stepped down as chairman recently. We've had a lot of moving pieces behind the scenes in terms of heads of business structure, organizations either coming or going. But overall, it feels like the underlying corporate bench is relatively intact. So, yes, update on whether or not Joe's going to be the permanent CEO would be welcome, I think. Uncertainty is certainly really hurting the stock at this point, and just some stability, some certainty, some clarity, I think, would really go a long way towards having people refocus on what's going on with the company fundamentals.
Dan, you say the strategy is working. Just get a little more specific about that. Obviously, the retransmission fees, that whole network business remains okay. And they've trumpeted a lot of the direct-to-consumer stuff with Showtime and CBS All Access. But is that really gaining enough momentum to where it's going to be material, I guess, financially speaking? And I guess, longer term, is CBS an independent company?
Longer term, I think it would certainly makes sense for somebody to acquire them. But in terms of the metrics that you're talking about, yeah, you can see it in the margins. They are sitting on the largest unmonetized library of content in the company's history. They've had accelerating sub growth in a time where there's been a lot of uncertainty around cord cutting. The advertising environment has been stable, and they're getting an uptick, both retrans and reverse, growing at about a 25% clip. Plus, since you guys were talking about political earlier, Brian, you've got gangbuster political being reported at the local level, with some companies like EW Scripps reporting up over 70% over 2014 levels. So yeah, the underlying fundamentals, I think, absolutely is moving in the right direction. You're starting to get great margin accretion over time. The question is, can they maintain the top line growth? And for now, it seems like they have pretty good runway to do so.
$90 price target, is that still where you are? That would be a pretty big leap.
Look, I mean, let's be honest, right? I think that's more in line with where historical cable nets have traded in the past, but you're looking at a CBS stock company that is arguably best in breed, trading at 8 times 2019 EV to EBITDA, with most networks outside of the guys that are losing subs trading double digits plus. Yeah. So if you want to quibble with me at 90 versus 70, doesn't matter. But if you're sitting there, you're Verizon, you're AT&T, why don't you come in understanding the Sherry Redstone thing could be an issue? Why don't you come in and make a $75 bid for this thing and get the biggest content player still available in the market?